Tonight's show, we're talking about who's guiding humanity. Is it AI? Is it extraterrestrials? Is it spirit? Is it anyone? Anyone there? And I'm also answering all your questions with live readings coming up right now.
That looks like a Devin or David.
David is his name. It's been so spot on.
And I don't know if you put it in the side of your end table or not. You saw like the sun on your end table. It's too.
My God, you're crazy.
Yeah, I don't know if she's showing me flowers. Like relay them or redo them. These purple flowers.
Oh my God, Scott, the flowers are right there. My orchids are purple. They completely are dead.
Yeah.
Did you even know? You nailed everything, every single thing. Listen, everyone, this guy.
There needs to be a connection with like a Native American ancestry. And they're showing me a turquoise stone. Yes.
I just went to a Native American dance class and I wore this stone.
Tell me something that he told you that came true.
Everything he's predicted has come true.
I just don't see it.
Who doesn't have cancer?
It's very possible.
Camera's psychic who first questioned Brooke's cancer.
Scott Cruz.
Oh, there you won! You won!
You better question yourself. We're here to bring enlightenment, not confusion.
You might encounter negative aspects of self, but that's a freeing experience.
Because then they start realizing that they can't think outside the box. And I say, if you can't think outside the box, then who's the stupid one here?
We've all co-created this matrix. So if you don't like the matrix, that's you saying that you don't like your own reality, what you're creating for yourself. So we're all equal participants of the creation of this matrix. I don't just come on here and talk repeat shit. I'm living it.
In harmony with nature.
Oy vey. Nothing seems to want to work today. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Whoever's watching, for whatever time frame. Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to the Cruisyverse. How's y'all week been? Just nothing was wanting to work technically here. And so just really irritating me. And that's kind of one of my biggest frustrations is when I'm trying to get things to work and it's the tech that's slowing me down, not speeding me up. Y'all know what that's like? Y'all feel that with that? So, eesh. Anyways, I need a sip of water because I just had to get things running right before the show. And nothing just was wanting to work. In the description in my... just update this description of this video. So yes, if you want to get your readings in, the description has been updated. It was a command for ChatGPT to create an image, and I must have pasted that command into this description, and that wasn't working. So it was kind of funny. Anyways, how's the week been? It's been an interesting week. We're now in aqua season. Me being the aqua. My birthday's around the corner. I will be 44 years of age. 44. Do you believe that? It's a good number too. And so we have a lot to talk about when it comes to aqua seasons. A lot of crazes going on in the world. We talked about that a lot about that last night in LOL. There's been some confusion, and it's only because I have somebody named Christopher Wittek that I'm working with that creates confusion for the show about timing and stuff of that nature. So we still stream on Wednesday nights. At least I will. And then he wants to have the recording air on Saturdays on Serious Joy's channel. So I think also the LOL channel. So it would always be Wednesdays here, and he's late sometimes too. So that is not of my doing. So if you're sitting there waiting 5, 10, 50 tournaments, I'm always there way before the show starts. Always him. So I have to out him on that because I can't have that be a reflection of moi. Okay, because I'm always to the point, on time. But there's a lot of things going on. And so, how are we going to weather that? And I think we'll get into that with the collective read too. And also kind of what's ahead. I mean, if you guys have seen my 2026 video about 2026 predictions, a lot of it is starting to kind of come to pass a little bit. So, or at least seeing signs of such. And so we'll kind of get a little bit into that, a little bit in the collective read, kind of, sort of, but more so about what we need to be focusing on. And also the topic today is ahead about who's guiding humanity. First of all, do we need guiding? Of course we do. And who is it? Is it AI? Is it aliens? Is it spirit? Is it us? Where we're going to see moving forward in regards to, that essence as we evolve too. So we'll get into that as well. And also we had Iggy's birthday was also not too long ago. So Iggy, happy birthday to Iggy. So we all give him a happy birthday, belated birthday to him as well. My aqua bra. So yeah, and then but it's been an interesting week. So there's some heaviness and irritations. And so how do we deal with those? And what does that really mean? And how long is it going to last for? We'll get into that too. And also the 28th, or excuse me, the 29th next week. It's funny, every time I decide on something, it lands on a Thursday, and my song will be available on all platforms, because if you still do iTunes Store, it's available for pre-order. It should be on Apple Music as far as like to save, but it's not there yet. It probably takes a couple days for that to happen, but it'll be available on the 28th, and so perhaps maybe I'll do a little bit of a I don't know, screening, but just I'll play the song next week for y'all on Thursday Night Live. If you haven't checked it out, the morning it's available. So I'm very excited about that. It's called Save the Future, and pretty clear what it means right there. But anyways, let's see who's chatted Kathy on in the room here as I simmer down from the irritations. Like the mic wasn't working. It was clicking and popping. Then the video wasn't playing, and it was just like, really, right now we have to do this? So I don't know how we're going to do if there's any live videos. It might, I don't know how it's going to happen. If that's, we'll have to kind of see how it goes. But anyways, David Cruz, welcome. Brendan Zweck, good to see you. Jennifer Cruz, good to see you as well. Karma, good to see you as well. Wonderful Monina's in the room. If you want to get your questions in, get them in now. It's going to be a light show today. Easy breezy, right? So get your questions in now before we shut them down. 15 for card polls, you all know. 20 for one question, 30 for two questions, 40 for a live video with Mo. And the PayPal and Venmo links are in the description. Finally, as it's been updated, not the grok command I was using to create my thumbnail. And the wonderful Monina is in the room to help you, to assist if you have any questions about that as well. And so, yeah, Iggy, we're a crisis. We got to stand up. It's a crisis. So there's been a few people that have heard my song already. Iggy is one of them. So that's a little bit of a hint of a bridge for the song, and that is a loud scream. So, and I do that frequently with songs. I have selected people that I trust that just, I need another ear when I'm working on every aspect of a song. Like, tell me what you think, what you're hearing. And so certain people I feel like I can rely on that would give me good feedback. And so Iggy's going to drop some little clues there, some spoil alerts. Catcher Oracle's Magic, good to see you, my darling. Darby Maybe, good to see you as well as always too. Janelle Haugen, what's up, beautiful people, to you too. Darby Mayberry, as we just said. Abby Coe, good to see you as well. Andrew B. Williams, good to see you. It's good to see you live again. Yes, welcome aboard, catching us again. Noel Way, my sister from another Missa. Lisa, my sister from the same Missa, good to see you as well. Cecilia Fordante, hello, good to see you. Good to see you, James Porterfield. Hope everything is well on your end of the spectrum too. And of course, Iggy, can't you see, as we said. Tamara Garassi, good to see you. Rashida, good to see you as well. And Pamela Johnson, good to see you as well too. Sally Jesse, yes, okay. Yeah, you had to fill me in on that part, like, because that I remember. Good to see you all. And those who are watching, I can only see who's chatting in the room. Welcome aboard. And those who are new, I do start with a collective read, and I do use tarot and oracle cards for the collective reading purposes, but I'm a psychic medium, don't need them, but it just helps to guide in the direction of such. So let's, without further ado, let's do that, and let's just shuffle these cards and see where we're going to go tonight. How about that? Okay. Let's shuffle these cards, shall we? I can really already hear sacrifice as being a theme, but we'll get into that, and we'll see exactly what that means when it comes to sacrifice. Because we are entering, as we are in Aquarius season, right? And the age of Aquarius, it is actually the beginning of the cycle of doing for others, but also doing for the self. It's really finding that balance of being self-contained, because us Aquas are really good at being self-contained, but also helping others too. But sometimes we might need a little Leo energy, so I love that that's coming out there too, in the balance. So this all quite makes sense how it's being pulled out. And pull one more card in an oracle, and then we'll get the show on the road here. Okay. Just got one more. They're taking its time, and I think patience might be part of the theme here on this on this. Interesting. Okay, I'm getting my oracles, which is still my thing here because I was scrambling. I don't even like to be a minute late. You know what I'm saying? I like to be, it's not even like 6:04 and 59 seconds or 6:05 and 1 second. I like to be at 6:05 exactly. So if I'd be late and me reach for the cards, then have the cards all set, and then you have you wait, because it's all about patience. So the cards are even talking to you right now. So I guess it's all about the patience, guys. Patience and protection. Okay, gotcha. Give me a couple seconds. Let me just tune in, and we're going to do this read. Gotcha. Okay. As I said before, I was correct about the sacrificing energy, because the question I want to ask you is there a fine line between sacrifice and just being helpful? You see, because a lot of times what we do is we tend to want to help, but what we're doing is we're not really helping. We could be actually adding more wood to the fire because we feel that we need to be helpful. We feel that we have to sacrifice ourselves for somebody else. Meanwhile, is that behavior actually really helping the situation at large? And we have to ask ourselves this too. And I had a conversation earlier that kind of inspired, I think is inspiring this conversation too. And it's coming in the cards as well about enabling energy, enabling behavior. Because when you feel the need to want to help someone, we have to ask ourselves, are they a type of person or individual that is called to be helped? And these are things we have to ask ourselves. And also ask yourself too, if you're not receiving help, are you actually allowing yourself to receive the help that you need? And are you actually looking out for yourself and welcoming it into? So it's going to be a polarity on this topic here, because, help is always aligned when it needs to be, and or there's some sort of karmic lesson to be learned. And so a lot of times, I always like to say, when people take responsibility for other people too much, I always say you don't want to assume their karma. Because at the same time, you might be helping someone get ahead or have a cheat sheet in a sense, and they kind of override any type of karmic lessons that you have to learn or consequences. So at some point, they'll have to repeat it again, or you'll be burdened and bound to their karma. And that will always be an unsettled energy subconsciously as you live your life. You'll never quite feel free, because you bound yourself to somebody else's karma. So the question is, why would you want to assume someone else's karma? Why do you want to sacrifice yourself to be a good shepherd? For what purpose? If it's actually really not making a difference either. Because there's a lot of people, as we know, that are, take advantage of other people and manipulate other people. There's a lot of people out there, and I see that a lot with my clients as well. And they feel like in order to be a good soul, I just have to be there from help them. And I'm like, but if God energy, the God intellect, all-seeing, right? The all-seeing perspective looks at how it's affecting things as a whole. Is the result a positive result? Is the result a negative and destructive result? That's all the intelligence of God cares about, not the fact that you have good intentions. No one gives a fuck about your good intentions. As we know the phrase, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. No one gives a fuck. What's the results? And if you are enabling bad behavior because you feel like I have to, or there's guilt, there's burdens, responsibility, whatever the case is, and I find with a lot of my clients, especially this week with the guilt energy, if I just have guilt, It's like, but how long you want to marry yourself with guilt, and to what degree is that guilt going to finish? You just keep pacifying the guilt, so the guilt just keeps being on a continuum. And it's like a fix. Well, then I feel guilty, so I will give. So I feel fixed now. But then you always feel like you have to feed that guilt, so you're always going to be in contempt of the guilt, which means you'll never feel completely free. Because you're bound to someone else's unresolved. You're bound to someone else's unresolved karma, trying to save their karma. And as a matter of fact, you're actually bringing it on and enabling more of it. So we have to think about these things as we approach Aqua season. Actually, we are in Aqua season, but also in the Age of Aquarius too, that we're going to feel like we got to connect with people, but you will be privy and exposed to more people who are actually probably needing more assistance and guidance and help. But you have to understand, they have to learn from themselves. We have to teach, say, it's up to you to figure that out. Here's a little bit of blueprint, but I can't do it for you. Right? And so this is the hangman approach, because to me, this is also indicative. And I think the hangman, I think of Christ being hung on the cross type of thing and sacrifice, but it's time to kind of shift that around, right? And like resurrect from the ask to be bound just because we feel like we have to be loving in the way we define it to be, but loving doesn't mean enabling either. And also the Nine of Swords is the same thing about having that anxiety. And a lot of times we just will feed things to feed our own anxiety. So it becomes like an addiction for ourselves. And that caused us to be irrational, right? And I love that the Leo card, the Strength card is my Leo card because it's got the line in it, of course. So I would say that's the Leo vibe energy, the Strength card. But that's also the loyalty. You have to be loyal to yourself. We can't also just follow suit of how much you have to be loyal to other people, no matter what circumstance they are in. Because who is being loyal to you, and are you being loyal to yourself? There has to be a balance of that, because constantly being loyal to other people, you're actually not allowing yourself to receive the loyalty in return, because you keep putting yourself in circumstances and situations that are depriving, and you'll attract more. You carry that energy. And that energy that you have contaminating all this disloyal energy, taking energy, it actually, if you clear that space out, then you welcome more people in to be more supportive of you, and or a reciprocal type of relationship or dynamics that you might be missing out on in your life right now. And so in the Two of Swords as well, it's saying that, you have to pick a side at some point, and mastering of duality is a great thing to understand, to be neutral about things, but that isn't always the case, and that isn't always where you are at the peak of your mastery, depending on whatever the karmic lesson is. Not everybody, let me just fix this here, that was bothering me for a minute. Not everybody is at a peak of mastery where they can sit in the middle and be like, it's all good either way, I understand both sides, I'm taking it all in. Sometimes you're going to have to pick an avenue. And especially now in this political divisive spectrum that we've had, and sometimes you just might have to, you're going to have to pick a side, because at this point it's gotten so polarized, it's gotten so, I would say heavy as far as like good and bad at this point, right? So you're going to have to pick a side. You can't play mediator all the fucking time. You can't play the savior all the fucking time. You just cannot do that. You're going to have to pick a lane and saying what is best for the greater good. And so cutting somebody off might be best for the greater good so they can learn. You stop teaching them to take advantage. You stop teaching that lying is okay. You stop teaching them that manipulation is okay. And you're teaching yourself saying, I'm setting my boundaries. I cannot allow that anymore. And nor am I going to teach this person. That's okay to do that to me. Pick a side. You have to pick that lane. And the lane that you pick should be the one that's actually fulfilling and allows yourself to continue to evolve. And that should not require anybody else's involvement in your experience at all. Not your mother, not your father, not your sister, not your brother, not your son, not your daughter, no one. And if anyone puts pressure on you, that tells a story in itself. That's entitlement. That's someone not looking out for you, just taking from you. Okay, and if any relationship creates any form of guilt, run and don't feed it. I don't care what the dynamic is, and so, and I also love that the Six of Pentacles also came in the reverse position. It said you don't always have to be so goddamn generous. Sometimes you have to, I always say, sometimes there's a time where you have to tell people to go fuck themselves, fuck off, take that energy, go fuck yourself with it. And then, when I came out on social media, started saying these things, oh my God, that's not very spiritual, and clutching their pearls. I'm like, what the fuck is spiritual to you? That they have to pacify shit, not be real? Is that spiritual to you? So you shouldn't pacify shit. Not trying to make mom happy. Oh, but I got to make her happy. What does she do to make you happy? Why are you trying to mother your mother for? Why are you trying to father your father for? It's not about pacifying just because you think it's positive. That's what love is. Love is a whole encompassment of you got to be loved too. It cannot just be one direction. It's got to be a two-way street is what the essence of love really is. And if you are feeding something that is not bringing it in return, it's not loving. It's delusion and enabling energy. And so we have to start really taking a step back on these things, because a lot of times people feed things and don't wonder why nothing's getting anywhere. Why is it? But I'm helping them. Because you're just enabling them. They're playing you like a fiddle to get what they need from you and tell you all the sweet things they need to tell you. Or many people, because of the relationship hierarchy, like a mother or father, try to like look down on their children, make their children feel guilty because they need that child to parent them. Right? So many different dynamics I see constantly. And so at those moments in time, it's okay. There's people here just that need to hear fuck off. That's where behaviors will change. Right? And so, and I had an instance even today at the grocery store. And, I'm just like, I can't bite my tongue anymore. I bit my tongue for so long to make people comfortable. Like that, those days are over with me, but also with society. Because I see a lot of people now start to say, I don't give a fuck what you think anymore. Fuck you. Right? Or I don't care anymore. Like, get out of here. Shoo. In that sense. So you could be, I don't want to, the fuck you approach is harsh for me. That's fine. Sometimes people have to get there to get to the point where they have better finesse on things, saying, I'm good, and be more objective. But it's okay if you have to start with the fuck off approach first to summon the power, to summon the boundary. But you always want to have the goal, say, how can I always be less affected? Objective and unaffected, right? Not subjective and affected. Objective and unaffected, say, I'll evolve to where it doesn't bother me to, I don't have to respond a certain way. But sometimes you have to speak up. And that's another part of this message, is speaking up about things for yourself that's fair, and also demanding more courtesy. See, because I feel like in this day and age, there's no courtesy for people anymore, really. Either people are afraid of connecting with people because of what's been going on, or just so self-absorbed. And I can't even bite the bullet on that with me anymore either, And so when I was in the grocery store, I'm waiting in line, and they said we in Sprouts waiting in line, and so someone opens up the lane next to me. I've been waiting there for a little bit, and someone comes behind me and jumps ahead and goes first, and I follow because I'm like, I've been waiting there long. And so Naim said, I'll go before me, you were waiting first. Nothing. So I just kind of said very, very calmly, I said, usually the person who's been waiting for us gets to go first. And he's like, oh, do you want to go in front of me? I'm like, no, I'm good. No need to do all that. But just like want to set the tone of like consideration, because maybe the next time when he goes to do that, he'll think twice and actually do what's courteous to somebody. Because a lot of people say, oh, just don't say anything. Don't let it bother you. I said, but that's what's gotten us in this fucking mess to begin with. Don't say anything. Don't let it bother you. It's like the George Bush era. Me. But I'm saying, no, if I say something, and because I am very courteous that way, perhaps he might think, he could have been a nice person for all I know, just maybe wasn't thinking, but maybe next time he'll be more courteous. It's when we call things out and speak up for things, it creates a domino effect of change. And so what I'm saying right now during this Age of Aquarius and Aquarius season, stop keeping your mouth shut. Stop pacifying and stop trying to enable bad behavior, but just because you don't want someone to get hurt or bother somebody else to ruffle anybody else's feathers while yours continue to be ruffled, to where you will consistently be in a stage of feeling in contempt, not free, not happy, because that energy still lingers in your subconscious throughout your life, throughout your filtering of how you perceive reality. No bueno. Okay? So just as much as you have loved, and I've come to terms with you, just as much as I love people, I can tell people to go fuck themselves too, because that's the boundary, because not everybody's in the essence of love, and a lot of people have to learn different ways, and a lot of people have to learn the harsh way or the blunt way. And so we have to understand to what degree, to which interactions that we are in, that we actually are able to participate and show up in the correct way for both them and for both us, for the greater good of the experience, not for the moment because of guilt, responsibility, burden, or whatever, all that negative bullshit, disempowering emotions that do no good for anyone, So, and then of course, patience card came about. Now, patience isn't always about you either. Sometimes we have to show patience for other people by not enabling their bad behavior and saying, well, I got to fix their problems now. Saying, no, be patient with them to figure out, look, you need your time. You need time to figure it out. Go and figure it out. Go take care of yourself, right? We need that, So, and especially with, the protection card coming right after that, which is I like with that, the Oracle card is like, we do have to protect our own spaces. We do have to protect our own energy. I don't care how strong you think you are. You still have to keep up your boundaries, because you could say you're so strong and have your door wide open. You would let anyone just come into your home? And, let's use these simple 2+2 analogies. Would you let anyone just come into your home and just squat? Murderers, pedophiles, all these evil people that you think you're strong, but you can't deal with all that yourself. You just let that all in. Same thing with energy. You just can't let anything in. And so this is an important message, because as we approach summer of this year, because summer of this year is going to be very much about people finding their places, people finding their tribes, their people, and those who've been in isolation or starting out connect with people. You need this message. Okay? And this is the Resistance 2 card. Just as much as we attract, we need to resist too. And I know we say what you resist persists, but there's different contexts of this. Some people resist the term resistance or resist the act of resistance because they think, I'm resisting, it's going to get bigger. It depends, because again, not everything's so black and white. And that's what the spiritual communities are very dumb about this when they say like, oh, don't resist it, it persists. Well, what if someone comes up to you and tries to physically assault you? Are you going to be like, I shouldn't resist? You're going to push it away and be like, get off of me. Like, don't assault, right? You're going to use that equal strength and force to push it away. And 9 times out of 10, you'll be very successful by doing so because you resist it. So we have to understand the true term and balance of what resistance really means. But if you're resisting something positive, it will get worse until it becomes a realization for you to learn, because a lot of times we're resisting learning a lesson of what we need to make things better. So that will increase, that will persist, that will get grander in your experience in your life. And that will snowball because you're trying to look at what needs attention to. So that will get worse. If you're resisting your lessons, just like if you're resisting cleaning your home, it's going to get worse, right? So we need to understand what we have to resist and what we should not be resisting. And that also includes within our relationships, with circumstances, situationships, whatever it may be. And there's things I wouldn't resist, and I'm going to resist people who want to take advantage. No, I'm resisting that. That's what you need to be doing. But I hear so many people like, oh, but you can't resist. Resistance persists. And just these fucking bumper stickers that keep people so intellectually dumb, which distorts their intuition and perception of things. And we're saying now is a time when we start becoming more integrative with our culture, with our species, that we are very clear about this, because there's going to be those bad apples that want to linger and cause destruction and chaos and take advantage and all that great stuff. So we have to be able to stand up collectively and call it out. And I'll call it a stupid comment. I'll call it anything. And guess what? Every time I call out, they run or block. I'm like, you're so strong that they have that keyboard, but when I kind of confront you with the logic behind it, you all run. You know, they all run. I don't get much of it. When I do, I just laugh. They can't continue the conversation because they're intellectually dumb. You have to be have an intellectual deficit in order to be able to want to like shame somebody or, you know, talk bad about something. There's an intellectual deficit. So if you challenge them intellectually, there's nothing they can do, right? But when you stand up to this, you will start recognizing more people who are great people feel safer to be who they are. And we all come together and realize the majority of people are kind-hearted. The majority of people want what's best. The majority of people want to make things work together. It's the minorities are not the majorities in that sense who want to cause chaos. And so this is what we'll recognize. But we have to call it out so then we can actually become stronger as a collective and really continue to help our species to evolve in the right way. And we are on that track. As I said, 2026, we are on that track of that evolution. We're on that track of innovation and discovery and finding our place. So 2026 begins that cycle. We complete a cycle, which the cycle began in 2019 for me, this energetic cycle. We had a rough 5 to 6 years since 2019. 2026 brings a different era, a different energy, but there will still be chaos, but things are breaking down to break through, as I predicted, of course, with with some of the predictions happening with the governmental aspects. And with that said, who is really guiding humanity? I'll tell you right now, it's never been politics. Y'all who got your heads up your asses with politics need to pull your heads out of your asses and realize that is not guiding humanity. Because if it was, there would have been an evolution with the political sphere. It's digressed and it's caused more conflict with humanity. But spiritually speaking, this disruption with politics is helping us to become more of who we are on the soul level. So it is a good part of our evolution to have that chaos. But to call it out for what it is, if you go back and watch news and, you know, talk shows from the 70s and 80s, which I've done, same shit. Same talking points, same battles, same stuff. No resolve. Okay? We made a couple along the way, sure, but a couple along the way in how many decades of voting for politicians and relying on politicians to save us, and how long have we done that for, right? It's just not guiding us effectively at all. And so moving forward, and here's the beautiful part of all this though, I see a lot of people realizing this now. See a lot of people, I've been saying this for so long, and I've been saying this since I was like a teenager, actually saying them, and everyone just didn't know what to think about that, But you got to vote, you got to do all these things, and follow orders, and I'm like, you'll see. And so now people are seeing, which makes me happy because I'm like, finally, like I don't, everything I've been saying that I was deemed crazy for, people are now saying. Right? So that's a lot of being a psychic. We say things, people think we're crazy until it happens and like, oh yeah, you did say that years ago. It's like, yeah, after you treated me like crap for it, right? But oh well, it's part of a lot of being a psychic, or intuitive or foreseeing things. And so, so right now it's like, well, who is truly guiding us right now? We have the development of AI and people relying on AI now for like comfort, and then they're starting to realize it's just feeding me a load of BS and make me feel good. And it's really not giving me the depth of what I can. It can solve certain problems, but is it really guiding us? Is it really leading us? I should probably change this banner. And I would say to a certain degree, and we have to look at things not so much about what is, but what are the influences for us to help us really guide ourselves moving forward. And, AI could be a huge strain off of the mundane tasks that we do that we can utilize so we can be more focused, more clear on what we're participating on in life and things that we can do that are more creative, more inspired, more coming from the soul, right? So it can help to guide us in that facet, unless you're relying on it for everything. You'll be swallowed whole, right? You'll be like left behind, so to speak. So we have to understand everything can be used as a guidance for us to be more of who we need to be and to take the burdens off us that distract us from doing those goals or those main things in our lives that we want to participate in. So AI could be helped to guide us in that factor. I say everything has a duality. So I look at it in that aspect. It helps me become more spiritually focused, more creatively focused, so I don't have to spend so much time on the mundane. Am I going to rely on it for being a therapist? Fuck no. Obviously, it's not intuitive. It can't channel spirit, so that's one thing it can't do, right? So then that leads us to, extraterrestrials. As of course, a lot of people of us have been called crazy when we said, yes, there's extraterrestrial life force and we're tinfoil hat wearing people until, 2021, the government confirms there's extraterrestrial life form. People have seen spacecrafts, and so now it's confirmed, right? And so now I've been saying for a long time that I feel like, 2025 to 2030 is a huge pivot within a shift in our species. And I always felt like by 2030 is where we have like the major tech. 2030, we have the change of, I used to call it a governmental salary, but it's, of course, when it became conscious to people, it was called universal basic income. All these changes will be by 2030. Okay, digital currency. And I said by 2030 as well, that we'll have extraterrestrial connection and contact. And I love Bashar, channeled by Daryl Inca, and he was actually made a prediction saying by 2027 there'll be direct contacts. I'm like, sweet, it's in my bracket too. But of course he knows because he's very, very accurate with the extraterrestrial stuff, right? So that makes sense because, I made a lot of predictions about the current administration, political spheres, how that would be changing well before 2028. And so that would make sense. And so I always feel like there's always been extraterrestrial, I would say, connections in planet Earth well before we've been conscious of that. Some of us have connections with these groups of extraterrestrials and we have a mission here. I feel like this might sound cuckoo for those who are not into the space, but I feel like I'm also part of an extraterrestrial group that also is here to assist and to, because I feel like the people who feel like humanity itself is so stupid, and we say that out of love, is because I feel like we are coming from somewhere else to help assist humanity. So, because a lot of times, I'm like, God, sometimes being human feels so dumb, and I'm just like, why would I feel that way? I don't judge it in a judgmental way. It just feels so like dumb, and but then I understand the meaning for experience, and so I wonder, like, and it's something I never really dived into, which I probably should, because I've never really been so like, I want to connect with extraterrestrials, but even though I feel connection to, I feel like that's why I have that perspective on things, is because I feel like I've always wanted to assist and make things better for humanity as a whole, right? It's been a passion of mine, even through my fuck ups, and just trying to help explore people to be more of them and to awaken more to their soul evolution. Not so much I have the key or I have the course or the formula. It's like helping people to understand and realize more of themselves and what spirituality is so they can grow more into themselves to evolve. That's it. That's what I'm here for. And so I feel like, so there'll be a guidance of all. I feel like the extraterrestrials will help to guide humanity to evolve, to resurrect, right? Because we're coming closer to contact as we become more objective in perspective. We see more because of the challenges we've had that have been amped up in our reality. And, we're in three-dimensional reality, but we're also merging to 5D. And merging to 5D is not a pleasurable experience for those of you who think that 5D just means it's heaven on earth. Bullshit. 5D is going to be it becomes more challenging in order for us to live in that harmony that we're reaching towards. So we're beginning the 5D process, which is why more people are relying on intuitives and spiritual essences. So this is like, we've leveled up, which is why we have the past 6 years been massive challenge. Massive. Like never ending, never stopping. Consistently. And conscious for everyone, right? So to me, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be good. I smile with, oh, this is gonna be good. And when we evolve from it, this is gonna be great for us, and it will be. Actually, it's not Armageddon, quite the contrary. So, but we're entering that phase. But in order for us to like, all of a sudden we're opening our perspective. For a lot of people, it's very scary, very disorienting. And so, but that'll adjust too. But the extraterrestrials will help with that, because we're coming closer to being closer to their frequency, more the 5D energy, 6D energy. So we're kind of meeting in the middle for us to have those type of connections. And so I really think that's what technology really is. If we think about, extraterrestrials, they have massive technology. And so we're kind of rising to that level too. So all these people saying, oh, it's evil, tech is evil, all that bullshit, or just people are just afraid of it and don't really understand what we're evolving to. We can't stay in density forever, guys. We can't stay trying to being in survival mode all the time. I have to work to do this, and I can't do anything creative. I can't explore. I have all these limitations. We can't be stuck in limitations forever. The thing that's going to free us of that is the technology. So extraterrestrials have technology to teleport. They have frequency to do other things to whatever the case you want to fathom. If you don't believe in that, just understand what technology can do to help us to evolve. And so that's the good part of this. And there are people that are always going to try to do things for their own self-interest. That's with everything in humanity. But we'll start seeing less and less of that. And I predicted this 15 years ago about, this change, breaking down of political structures, breaking down the money systems and the financial system. Before it was like a thing people were talking about, massively. I was saying and predicting this. I should probably bring up that blog on my website. I can find it up and just put it up, because it's dated when I posted it. And so it's happening. And so I'm excited for that too, as we all should be. So, who's really guiding humanity? Quite frankly, the people you think have been guiding humanity are not guiding humanity. And not to toot my own horn, but I'm including myself with a massive amounts of other people in the line of work that I do who are here to just be honest, truthful, helping people to be more spiritual in ways that's not the hokey bullshit, not trying to sell you a course to manifest like these fucking grifters out there that are just giving, spirituality a bad name because they're just fucking grifting, idiots, as you see a lot of that. So that's all coming to the surface in the light. There's people who are actually putting themselves out there for just no money, for no reason, just because they just want to show up and deliver message. We're the ones really trying to help guide right now. And the more you connect with your spiritual essence, your guides, they'll help guide you too. Your soul is helping to guide you too, right? So you want to ask yourselves, are you surrounding with people who have an agenda, or you're surrounding yourself with people who are really trying to help things to evolve? Not to think about the past, not to stay stuck in fear-mongering bullshit. Are they actually talking about things that help us to evolve? Not to get over things, but how to really go through things to show up on the other side. Those are people you want to surround yourself with. Those are people who are guiding humanity. And that's my intention, to be part of that. I don't care about selling you a fucking course. I don't care about, whatever the case is. I do have to prove my abilities because the title is the word psychic gets a lot of shit in humanity simply because people don't know if it's real or not until people have experienced it. So I have to constantly prove it publicly by doing prediction shit and videos, right? That's not because I want people to understand the space exists too, because that will help you to understand your own intuitive abilities, your own psychic awareness too, because we all have intuition. We can all evolve and expand our intuition. It's not something only certain people have. Then that'll be a huge thing to question. But if all of us who have been doing it for a long time, since we were yay big, are telling you have intuition too, you have the abilities to expand upon too, you should probably try doing it. You probably should try diving into it, right? So anyway, so that is that aspect. So who's guiding humanity? Well, right now, no one really truly is, because we've relied on sources of people to guide us that were false. And I say, to conclude this topic, I always say that revelation in the Bible is basically, to me, an analogy, right? Because when we say, you rise above, right, and those be left behind. Well, and the tribulation period before the rapture and all that great stuff. It's just an analogy about the raising of frequency. A lot of us are evolving to 5D. Many people are not. Many people will be left behind or just pass on. They're not ready for it. They're just not part of their journey karmically on the soul level. So as we go through trials and tribulations, as we have for the past 6 years, heavier than if you look at any moment in history consistently, then if we look at this and we understand, okay, we've done the trials and tribulations, which happens before the rapture, so to speak. We all raise in frequency to 5D. We're going to be completely different. We will not see 3D Earth the way we saw it before. We will not be participating in the same way we've been participating before. Because you elevate human consciousness, and many people may not. They'll be stuck. They'll be trampled on by AI, right? They'll just lose their way, and they won't catch up to speed. That's what the rapture in Revelation really means to me, is the resurrection from 3D to 5D, and then so forth beyond. And that's not going to look like all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, I'm in a different realm. It's just going to look different and different and different. As we look at this, as these challenges have been going through, it's accelerated in its challenges. We're almost like numb to it now. Yes, okay, aliens exist. All right. Yeah, okay, someone's psychics. Like, all right, tell me something else. I feel like we've all gotten to a point like nothing is surprising to us anymore. Good. That's part of our upgrade. Okay. So let that all be a positive thing that we're actually growing. We're growing. This is evolution. And where are we evolving into? It can't get any worse. I mean, anything could always get worse, but at this point, I think we're not going to allow it to get any worse than what it really is. No one wants it to be. So there's only one other direction. That's where we're at. So understand, guys, we are all part of that process. It's not just those because you said a prayer and call yourself Christian and molest children and discriminate against people and all this hypocritical shit, which I feel like finally I'm getting vindicated because the religion that has condemned me, put me through conversion therapy, and where I've been sexually assaulted in that cult energy, right, of the man-made religion part of those things, is finally getting exposed. And I've been kind of posting on my Facebook, here's another pastor conservative that's in prison now, gone to prison for child abuse and molestation. Here's more. It's like one a month happens now. Good. Because I was one of those people. And everyone defended the church, but Scott, you're sinful. Scott, you're gay. God doesn't like, so it's good now to finally start seeing that reap its karma, as it also eliminates our unresolved karma that we have from our past incarnations to religion having a savior, so to speak. Doesn't mean I'm denouncing Yeshua consciousness, Christ consciousness. Completely different story. Christ consciousness and Yeshua consciousness, completely different from the biblical Christian religion. They're not one and the same. That's the lie, actually. So we're all part of that resurrection. We're all part of that evolution. And so the only people that get left behind are people that want to stay in the older paradigm of division. And in the age of Aquarius, we are not fucking playing at all. Okay, so all right, well that's that. I'm gonna just take a quick little break before we get into these live readings, so I can set up. Just going to a quick little commercial. I'll be back in 5, so I can just prepare them because it's a one-man show here. I don't doing commercials just a breather because we didn't get a chance to record a video for us. A quick little read as usually does. That's my time of a downtime between reads. But I'm just gonna run this quick commercial and I'll be back and we'll start with the live readings.
Scott Cruz is popularly known for his life-changing one-on-one readings to also guide in your soul ascension journey. With life readings, get insight into your relationships, career, health, trauma healings, past life regressions, and more. Want to connect with a loved one who's transitioned? Scott's mediumship session can be the gateway to you and your loved ones in spirit bridging the gap between the physical and the spiritual realm. If you want to enhance your own psychic ability, Scott's Intuition Builder session can help expand your psychic and mediumship abilities. So sign on to scottcruzpm.com to book your own personal session today.
All right, okay. Give me a quick little breather because I hate talking like nonstop. I actually don't like hearing myself talk, but I channel, so it's different. So I like channeling spirit or channeling my own spirit. You know, it's fun. But hear myself talk, I'm like, oh my God, Scott, shut up. I'm surprised y'all like to hear me talk. Okay, let's see where we're at here with the questions. Rashida, I hope the video works because I've been having tech issues with audio, so I hope it works in that sense. So I'll try to send the link here, but there's been massive issues with audio I've been having, like I was saying before the session. It was driving me nuts with things not working. So we'll try that. Let me get my earphones. I'll send the link and I'll do a question in the meantime. Where is my thing here? Interview is on now, right? Yes. Okay. Okay. Copy the link. And so I'll paste the link, Rashida, for you in the description below or in the description. So those who want that, just make sure you are done Venmo. And Lena will guide you. Sorry guys, give me 1 second here so I could just send her this link here. I was not anticipating any live readings today, but otherwise I would have this set up better. Okay, so let me send that and then we'll go for the first question here and let me change my banner, right, to live readings. I'm being a little better at the banners today, guys. Y'all proud? And it's hot in this place. It's either too cold in here or hot. So to deal with, you have someone who has a different body temperature. Seems like I'm the only one. Oh, I'm always the one that's either cold or warm in the house to accommodate somebody else's body temperature all the fucking time. Okay. All right, Rashida. But I'm going to start just changing the temperature whenever I want to change it. I'm going to start doing that. How about that? All right, Rashida, I'm trying to get this between the link. Again, the audio might be a problem, but hopefully it's not. Okay, and so we have a question first, and then we'll wait for that and do a question with Janelle. You know what? Screw it. Taking this off. Can't deal with this heat in this room with the lights. Okay. Janelle says, as my biological mom is close to passing away, I wonder, being adopted, how if this will impact my self-identity and what might open close for my future. Yeah, let me look at that. It's interesting because the cliche of like death kind of bringing a release, I really feel like that's kind of indicative of when your biological mom passes. It's going to feel like a release and you'll be more understanding of her in relation to you. And that will no longer define you like I'm adopted, not adopted. I think you'll break that identity in a sense in half, and because this is unresolved, like I'm adopted, you know, but my biological mom is still alive, but I'm adopted. There's that identity. You're going to kind of wipe that clear and understand the parameters more. It's going to fully click. Not that you don't now, it's going to click more with the fact of saying like, well, I'm just Janelle. And so no matter if I had the biological mom or my adopted mom, it doesn't really matter. I will be me no matter what. And I will continue to be who I was. So it's actually going to be more release for you. And more closure, actually. Not the other, because a lot of times it's the other way around. It brings less closure. I don't find that. I feel like it's going to bring more closure. And I feel like it's going to relieve you of having to identify either way with it. You know, because you're like, well, she's just another human being too. And so she made mistakes. I make mistakes. My adopted mom make mistakes. So it's like, how am I going to hold her against that? Because I have things that I needed, which I can get now in my life anyway. So it's going to help you process a lot better. So I really feel like it's going to allow you to be more accepting of relationship, more accepting of intimate relationships. And there's something about their biological mom passing me is like, you are the strong one left, so to speak, right? It's going to put a shift and spin on things saying, well, she's gone. She's not my hierarchy. I'm the hierarchy now. So I'm in control. It's going to oddly do that to your mentality. Because I feel like that's part of your mentality too. So yeah, it's going to be wonderful like that in that way too. So it's actually going to be a huge impact in a sense of you won't only have to identify with that aspect anymore. And your identity of who you are on a personal level, who you are when it comes to your relationships, how you're engaging with people, what you want for life, how you participate, how you see life, all that's going to become more the forefront of who you are, not what you went through. Right? Your identity is who you are, not what you went through. And so that's going to be very indicative to you. And you'll, even though I know that part of you knows that intellectually, but to feel it and know that part and to be in that essence is a completely different ballpark. Okay. That's where you'll be heading next in that regard. Okay. Let me see if there's anything else. Yeah, just kind of leaving it behind. You know, it's actually, you'll understand what I mean when it happened, that release and the relief. Like the sense of reality just kind of goes, you know, with you on that. So I think that's going to be a wonderful, actually healing for you, a wonderful release for you in that sense. And, you know, and I think you'll also look at identity, the word identity, in a completely different fashion. You're like, my identity isn't where it come from. My identity isn't what I've been through, even though that contributes to my character development. My identity is what I choose to express. How am I expressing? You might be saying, well, I express where I'm consistently in a cycle of, you know, people who don't fully give me love, right? So you've been expressing that, so that becomes your identity because of the fact that you never quite had someone fully grasp love to you. So your romantic relationships continue that facet because you've identified saying, well, I don't really, you know, receive love fully, so I kind of keep it at bay. You're expressing that, which has become your identity, but you can change the expression, which changes your identity. You know what I mean? It's not stuck. You know, it's not stuck in that way. So I feel like you'll start saying to yourself, I deserve more in return. Not half-assed. Not like, I love you, but I love you, but, you know what I mean? You're going to be like saying, someone will say to you, like, I love you, period. And so it's going to wipe away a lot of that. And again, your identity is who you choose to express and what is coming from the heart. That's who you are, not, again, being gay is an experience of mine. It's not who I am. That's not my soul. It's like, oh, I'm a gay guy. My soul's a soul. It's genderless. It doesn't care about male, female, what sex, whatever. It's a physical experience. But I identify as someone who is, because of being gay, it's because I know my soul's a rebel. I know my soul thinks outside the box. I know my soul, you know, doesn't go with the norms. My soul knows what it wants. It want to have children, right? It knows how to, so that's how I identify how my soul is based on the experiences that I have and based on what I've been expressing. I want you to think of it this way, right? I want you to think of it that way, right? So if you've been hesitant of receiving love in romantic relationships, obviously clearly you want it, but it scares you because you're afraid of being hurt, which means you don't want to be vulnerable, right? So actually your soul, if you say, well, what do your soul identifies that? Your soul is saying, I need to protect myself, but I also deserve more because I want it, but I'm afraid of it, right? So your soul is identifying, I deserve love and I deserve to welcome it in, but I also need to protect myself. That's your identity. That's who your soul identifies as, right? If you look about how you're reacting. So it's going to make you very introspective this way and make you very, I would say, philosophical in a way that's deep, but also personalized. Okay. All right. I mean, I didn't mean to be long-winded, but questions like that, need more elaboration. Instead of just saying, "Oh, girl, you'll let go," like that shit don't help. Saying stuff like that, 1 second. Let me get these earbuds together. And I might think I just need to open my window in a minute, but let me put my jacket back on. I want to be presentable for my video client here. And guys, do a video session. It's only through Venmo, and we get a nice, 10-minute chat on video. Okay. All right, let's go. Let me try to put these on. Let's get her on here. And let me just move my window here to, sorry guys, I'm a one-man show that has done everything in regards to my live show. So, okay. Hello there. Give me a second so I can put on my headphones because I can't hear a thing yet. My love don't cost a thing. I gotta hate J-Lo. I don't even know I even sang that song. I can't stand J-Lo. And I'm singing one of her stupid songs. Okay, let's do a sound check with you, Rashida. Test.
I can hear you just fine. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I want to make sure your volume is good, which it is, because sometimes it's lower than me. So you're almost clipping, so that's perfect. Clipping means like reaching the red in the volume. So what's going on, my love? Okay. What are your questions?
So before the question, can we just agree that you don't start my session out with a fucking J-Lo song?
Yeah, right. I mean, I don't do anything with a J-Lo song, Like, please,
no J-Lo, no Taylor Swift. Please.
No.
Yes. No.
That's because that dumb song was so on a repeat in a time of my life that was very heavy. So it's just like, it's almost like the annoyance of what I was going through in my head. So it just stands out, that song. And then I think it was like late 90s or early 2000s. I was like, and there was a time in my life that just like, we just stop playing that fucking song. So yeah, I'm in agreement. Cannot stand that music. But anyways, yeah, exactly. Who's J-Lo? It's almost like J-Lo, exactly. So forget about her. Let's talk about you. What is going on?
Yes, we're gonna forget about it.
Forget about it.
So I want to just go back a little bit because I have to tell you about something that you said. You answered. No. It's a good thing. So you answered a couple of questions of mine last time, right? And I remember I messaged you about the one question confirming what you said. The second question was about my daughter, though, and about her graduating,
right?
And if that was actually going to happen. And you said that it was going to look like it may not happen, but then it'll turn around and that it actually would. And so, literally, yesterday, I was at that point where I was just like, what the actual fuck? I cannot believe, like, literally her tuition went from $800 a month to $3,000 to $3,000.
Holy crap, jeez.
And so I was just like, oh my gosh, like, I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know. And then something just came to me. An idea came to me, and I posed it to my daughter, and we just ran with it. And it literally set off kind of like a what do you call that? A chain of events.
Snowball effect, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Positive.
Great.
All positive.
Yeah.
And now, as of today, I can see it.
Whoop, whoop.
Yes, I can totally see it. And I was just like, oh my fucking goodness, this shit's happening. I am so grateful. I have to tell them because
I love that. I love that.
Yeah,
Thank
it happened pretty much the same way.
And what I love about, thank you for sharing that too, because I think for other people like who are listening, right? Sometimes we're on a good track and there's sometimes things that come in that fuck up and then we just have to come in and correct it, right? Make a correction, so to speak, right? Either we look at things differently and say, well, let's try this here. It doesn't mean it's all going to shit. Sometimes you just have to come and just got to correct this. Okay, we're back on track. And that happens in physical reality where there's duality, for whatever reason, right? And so you and your daughter come together and you think you're finding other options is that correction that was needed. It's like, okay, we're back on track. We're good. You know what I mean? So that's good. That's really good. And sometimes this requires a simple correction. I always look at it like an energy going in blind. Sometimes an energy might just like detour a little bit. Like, no, go back on there, And so many people panic when it just goes a little, it's like, it's always going to do that. We just have to make sure we're guiding the energy to whatever it is. So good for you. Good for you and your daughter for doing that and coming together and, making sense of that. That's good. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. It was a lot of anxious moments for sure, but, yeah, sure. So, do you have questions, new questions for me today?
This is really funny because this happens. I'm just like, what are the questions? What are the questions?
Because like I have a job to do too, Rashida. You know that, right?
I know. I'm sorry. And my job is to have the questions, right? So, can I just say one more thing though?
Yes, absolutely.
About LOL, about the last LOL.
Absolutely. So the last night's stream, yeah.
Yes. Oh my God. So many things that I could relate to that were being said about being a rebel, about standing up for, that. And actually that is tied into, I guess, what I would like to ask you.
Yeah, fantastic.
So at my job, we were in a meeting and somebody said something that was kind of against, or speaking in a what do you call that? A passive, not aggressive.
Well, passive aggressive, or just kind of like very, I know what you're saying, what you're feeling.
Yeah,
because it's not
I know
passive aggressive. It's just kind of, it's like derogatory, but didn't mean to be, but it kind of was, but it was like a slip up. But
that was exactly what it was.
Right.
Literally that, like saying this, that. And I'm like you, I'm just like, well, first of all, let's keep it real. You're talking about me.
Right.
You're talking about me. And it's like, oh, no, Rocky, no, we're not talking about you. It's like, well, who the fuck else are you going to be talking about?
Right.
So I was willing to just call them on their bullshit, but in a professional enough way.
Sure.
And challenge.
Yes.
And challenge. Because I knew that they were wrong. And I'm not someone that's not willing to say that I am wrong if I am. Sure. But I knew that I was not. So anyway, long story short, it created a division. I lost an associate. I don't want to say friend because I have higher expectations.
Sure.
And so I'm just curious now, like what you see regarding that setup,
Well, explain to me what you mean by setup so I can know what to articulate. So as far as them, when you say you lost the associate, did you fire them? Did they no longer work for you?
Oh, no. I don't have that kind of pull. But
okay, because when you said that, I'm like, is that? Because I didn't feel that. But so you've lost basically the interaction, or at least whatever work camaraderie that could have been there. You lost in a sense, right? Was what you're saying?
Yeah. Well, because ultimately, let's just say I was iced out. There was a group of us that were, we would go out and drink even, we would hang out, we would have a nice time during my thing is, if we're going to be here for several hours a day, I want to have fun.
Sure.
I want it to be enjoyable. And so that's how the vibes were. But then after that, when I refused to to accept their BS, then I got iced out.
Well, that's always going to happen.
Right. And I'm fine.
But the thing is, with them, they feel like they I think because there's a group of people. So one feels like they're saying something, but like they're kind of saying it passively, but then they're kind of not, but they're not being aware. And the others are just like, oh, she's reading into it. You know what I'm saying? Instead of like considering how like, hey, I can see how that could be personal. So it's just like a lot of those are people just they lack self-awareness, I would say. Right.
Yes.
And that's what I was saying in the collective read. I was just saying, like, we have to call things out, because then we can understand if we're investing our time in people that are just not for us. Not that we have to like poo-poo on them. Like, maybe they don't mean well. They're just not aware. And so I want people to be around people who are a little more aware, you know, and more of aware what they speak of, and aware that it could be, you know, so that's where I want to be around. So it's like, and I think that's the situation here. You know, and so I think that, you know, few of them might just feel like you're being overly sensitive, you know, and so it's like, if you really feel like someone's being overly sensitive, do you still want to be a trigger to someone's sensitivity? And that's what I would say. Yeah, they might be oversensitive unless I went through every line of events that says, look, seriously, they're just off the rocker. But otherwise, like, you'll go down, so, you know, I could see how they could be sensitive to this. Okay, and they apologize. That's the introspection that you expect from people that they can't give. And so, and so
100%.
I want you to understand, like, that's a good thing. That's a good thing, because it's like, you need to identify, how am I letting people like this kind of slip in? And maybe I need to be a little more like, maybe I should smell that ahead of time too. Kind of like, yeah, you know, I can stay, because people always show you who they are when you first meet them too, right? And a lot of times we're like, oh, they're nice people, and we miss those certain things. But now I think you'd be more on par, like sniffing it out. And be like, I don't know, they seem nice, but they don't seem like they're aware of other people, you know, other people's surroundings, right? And so, and I'm telling you, that's gonna, especially being Leo, you're my fixed opposite, right? And so we're starting to realize we've been so opposite. Now we're like, with Age of Aquarius, Aquas and Leos are so fucking like, oh my God, we're almost the same people now. What's going on? You know,
it is so funny.
Isn't it funny?
I swear, like everything that when I was listening to the collective message, I was just like, wow, this is fucking trippy. This is trippy. This is so, like, again, it just resonated so much.
Yeah. So, but I think it's a good part of you to really understand the depth of that, you know? And so you don't have to lead people either. You don't have to be the one that ignites everything either, that you expect other people to take the lead as well. And that's, of course, Aqua energy too. And so I think it's so, what you experience, what you're saying around is so on par with the energetic currents and the astrology of what's going on. So it's right on it's perfect timing, especially, you know, as Sydney just stated, like, you know, Pluto brings a lot of fucking truth bombs, you know? And so, and that's where we're at right now. So I think that's good. I think you handled it well. And I think you should be like that. You know, just shrugging it off and just saying that stuff. Good for them. No hard feelings, but I need people who are a little more aware than that. You know, and there's a lot of that going on. You know, people who are, I see people defending a lot of things in our society that are so bad, but they're so unaware about what's really going on that they're actually defending horrible shit. And it's like, are you not aware? How can you at least try to ask yourself before you speak on them? Let me just look things up a little. Is this what's really happening here? No one's doing that. Some people are now because of AI and all the fake stuff. So we have a little bit split there in that regard. But you want to be around the people who are actually looking and making sure that it's in alignment. So I think you're in a good position for that. And good on you for calling it out. Good on you for calling it out. And respectively, again, those who are watching, calling things out doesn't mean you tell someone, like I was saying, when I say go fuck yourself, having that's an analogy of just like really pushing back on bad energy, right? You know, literally say, go fuck yourself. Sometimes you might have to, depending on the person where they're at too. That might be their language. But you, in your sense, you base it, fuck this, I'm calling it out. And that's exactly what you did. But you did it tactfully, you did it with finesse, and you did it in a way that was very, very clear. And a lot of people don't like that, you know, revelation. And when people get called out, it makes it very uncomfortable. They're not used to be calling out. They're not used to be called out anymore. And I see more and more people are doing this to people who are assaulting people and are being aggressors, which is wonderful. You know, I watch videos of employees like fighting back, people yelling at them, like, I don't care, I'll lose this job. You don't talk to me this way. You know, so it's at a chaotic position, but I like the fact that people are saying, I'm not biting the bullet anymore. That's what's caused these problems in our world. And it's allowing the bad behavior. So good on you for calling that out.
Thank you. Yeah. And like ultimately too, it's like if you cannot, because for me, if I wrong somebody or even think that I have, I'm going to seek you out to see if I actually did.
Exactly.
If I absolutely know that I did, then I'm going to apologize.
Yeah.
I'm going to apologize. So if you can't, they can't even do that. And so that really told me everything that I needed to know. It's like, no, I don't have friends like that.
Not even just an apology, it's also the fact of just like at least accommodating, like, oh, like I didn't see it from that way. I didn't, I could see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Not even trying. That's enough sometimes too.
Have a conversation about it. It's okay.
Right.
Yeah.
I did that when I graduated high school. I was like, oh my gosh, I want to like email people I teased, even just like in a slight way, but maybe it affected them. And, I reached out like, I'm so sorry if I teased you for this, I still had your back. And, and I had to make sure I made good on that. Because in high school, you just do stupid things sometimes and just laugh and joke with people. I'm like, and I look back like, I shouldn't have been a part of that kind of humiliation. Even though I didn't mean horribly by it, it's still, that person could have like been damaged by that. So I made sure I took responsibility. I emailed them on Facebook, looked them up. One girl, she's like, who? I'm like, don't even play that with me, okay? You just, But I'm like, I'll take the fuck you back. That's completely fine with me. I deserve that, So, but we're gonna do those things, and I agree. And I think we need more of that too. That, like we're saying, courtesy for others right now. And
yeah.
So yeah. Any other specific questions that you want me to dive into before we wrap this up? I still have to delegate, as you know. I
know. Okay, just I think. Oh God. Okay. Can we just go general then, or do you need specific?
No, just shoot a question.
Can you do an energy field, energy read? Or is that too broad?
No, that's fine. That's fine. No, it's completely fine.
Okay.
Let me pull some cards on this. Okay, well, first thing is there is going to be some sort of financial assistance somewhere. Maybe through grant, maybe some sort of aid, financial aid, or something just comes in. I just feel like because Ace of Pentacles is about so many variants when it comes to obtaining financial, income or rewards. I hate to say rewards, but I really feel that there will be some sort of sense, and it could be in relation to your daughter's tuition too, actually. It could be some sort of need or help of that. But it feels like it's being handed in a way too that's divinely orchestrated. Almost like it was too good to be true. So if you feel so perfect that and you start feeling I have assistance, or I'm actually feeling there's support from spirit. So that's a good thing too. And the Hermit card in the reverse is really saying to getting out of your own, isolations, so to speak. But I really feel, I really feel that this energy of calling out is what's going to be the catalyst for you to be like, God damn, if I can call that out, it's time to start meeting some good people. I'm done with, kind of keep myself at bay right now. But Leo's, I said this last year, Leo's going to be more domestic. I said it last year about the change with Leo's, and Leo's are definitely going to be more domestic. And I've been seeing a lot of my close Leo friends being very domestic, very home life, family oriented. And, and so that's part of the process, but you guys will be coming back out of that. And helping a lot of us Aquas lead people too. So, so there's a lot of that, as I've been predicting for so many individual sessions and collectively, that summertime is a good time to meet new people, finding community and all that stuff. So I just see that in a lot of people's, their trajectories and with the collective. So a lot of that. And, this is about balance. So the energy read is that you are finding that balance, the yin to that yang in that sense. So that was the whole point of your isolation. But let's not take the balance part of being so cliche and simplistic and broad. Oh, she's finding balance. So what does that mean? That means your balance is the balance of how much you give versus what you receive, how much you demonstrate versus what's being demonstrated to you. So you're really finding the balance of like your participation, your involvement versus your receptivity of such too in relation. So you're finding that balance. I give this, I'm getting it back. If I don't, I'm not integrating, like we were talking about in that conversation. So that's the balance you've been finding. In every other place, you're balanced. When it comes to relationship dynamics, there's a little bit of an imbalance that you've had that's come into play. You know what I mean? Work, you're good, even though you want to do more and find other things. Like, but I got it, cool. I got it. I know I could push myself more, but everything's good with that. It's the personal interactions I feel a little out of control on, but that's coming to balance, they're saying. And it's funny that you got, I didn't psychically feel this, but it's coming up in the cards. But I'm going to see to where the timeline is, because you got the Two of Cups, and the Page of Cups. That's usually about partnership.
Yeah.
Right. But I feel like not so much. I feel like partnership connects us here. But I feel like the starting of partnership is happening this year, where you're going to start really feeling more of partnership in people. And partnership doesn't mean just romantic, right? It means just on a whole, like friendships and partners with even business work. So just a partnership arena, right? And perhaps even a proposal on a business idea, or proposal with a certain partnership. So that could also be a starting point this year too.
Okay.
You know, so remember, like friendships are partners, work partners are partners. Like partnership is a bigger thing than just love, right? So,
yes.
But that you'll be more open to trusting people in that facet, and that starts this year too. Like I can trust people because I know who to pick. Not that I'm just giving trust away to everybody, because that's not rational. You know,
it's the intuition. I've literally, I was just telling my daughter this. I have been so much more zoned in.
But why does your love relationship? Why does your love life feel half and half to me? I mean, I don't want to say too much. I don't know why, but it just feels. I'll just say this: it feels half and half, and we need to go like whole milk here. Okay, so we need to start thinking about stop this half and half aspect of relationships.
I love whole milk.
Me too.
Oat
no
milk.
skim milk.
Oat
don't
milk.
give me. Yeah, well, I'll take the full milk, but don't give me half and half. Don't give me, skim milk.
Yeah.
You know. But I just want to say, right now, your love life feels half and half to me, and it needs to be.
There's
more.
a reason for that. We actually covered this in a one-on-one.
Did we?
There's definitely oh god, yes, yeah.
Okay,
there's a reason for that.
You know, I don't remember sessions.
I'll touch on that later. You know what though? This is why I love you, because there were things that I had been kind of like, the whole thing of when you did the carpool about the summer and the reverse hermit.
Mm-hmm.
It came back to me at that moment that I actually was going to ask you about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I was going to ask you, Scott, like when or do you see, not when, but do you see me finding my tribe?
Mm-hmm. Yes, obviously we answered that
was
question.
The question.
But we more so partnerships. I want you to understand that term partnerships, what that really means. You know, because friendships be partnerships, because that'll give you such a different essence of those connections, what they really mean, and a partner in life and life partners and all that great stuff. And tribe is a wonderful tool too. But like, think of like, this is like kind of my friend partner. This is my business partner. This is my, in that sense. And we're partners in crime, that whole energy, because partners give the indication that they're similar to you. A yin to your yang, right? It's that healthy balance. And so partnership, I think, is a wonderful way to bring that essence on what connections need to be. So, but good to see you as always. And I know I have to moderate because of time, because I'm the one man show.
My life's going crazy. That's funny.
Of course it is. Duh, honey, we're exploding that energy. What are you talking about?
Yes. Okay, I'm so sorry, everyone. I'm so sorry.
Don't be sorry, but it's funny the light, because now it looks like you're in the spotlight. So that the timing of that was perfect, because now it looks like you're in this light now. So it looks like you're basking in it. So like the timing is always perfect on that. So it's almost like your guy's saying, "You're gonna shine, girl." You know what I'm saying? So I think the timing was not coincidental. I think it was right on time with that light doing
Love
that.
It. Love it.
I love you, love. Good to see you as always.
Thank you so much. Love you too.
Keep me posted, and you know how to get a hold of me.
I will for sure.
All right, love. Bye.
Okay.
Cheers. Ciao. Good night. All right. I love that. So great. I had a story I was going to tell too. I totally forgot to. Like Rashida had me remind me of a story I was going to say. Because I was saying, because I'm always been a rebel. My mom would say, since I was yay big, so small, I was a rebel. And not a rebel for the sake of being a rebel. There's a lot of people like, oh, I want to embody a rebel attitude, so I'm going to act like, no, I just naturally am. I just naturally like, no, it's got to be different. Everyone's kind of like brainwashed by the same shit. No, we got to like, you know what I mean? Oh, no, the spiritual communities are all parroting the same bullshit. That doesn't make sense. I got to, it's the fact of wanting to correct. And then that sounds arrogant, right? Well, who am I to correct? Well, I've been through so many past lives. I have been studying my space, and my whole 30s, I didn't go out. And my gay community, they're just like, you think you're stuck up. You don't go out. I'm doing like, well, I did that in my 20s. Like I really did it in my 20s. I want to learn and develop my psychology, experience, dive into more my supernatural experiences, my intuition, my psychic abilities, my mediumship, learn about that, meditate to understand hierarchies of spiritual dimensionality, and you know, and so I've always felt that, wanted to do more and expand more. So I at least want to share what I've learned and the wisdom I've obtained and I've drooled over for, you know, how many decades. And not only that, the traumas that I've been through, right? And that I've overcome. At 15, I was told by a therapist I should write a book. At 15. I'm 44. We'll be 44, actually, not yet, but on the 2nd of February. So I say that because some people are like, who's he to want to correct things? Well, because I've experienced so much, I've seen so much, and I've been through so much, at least from my angle. And I always tell people, I speak about what I know about. I don't talk about what I don't know about. So there are times people talk about things I don't know about. I just sit there and I listen, observe, and I try to obtain knowledge from people or talk about things I don't know about. And I'm like, and I digest. Be like, you're so quiet. I'm like, I'm digesting. I'm learning, right? But what I do know and learned, I talk about. And so, and that's important to me too. I have no right. We can have opinions on things, sure, but to like assist someone with something I don't really know about, and I just think, as anyone knows, that's stupid. You know, why would anyone want to do that? Okay, so next question is from James. James says, "Do you feel I'll ever see?" Sorry, the green stream was so dumb. Do you feel I ever see the $54K I've invested after my mom passed? I'm still in contact with the person, Sonny Gruwall, through text, but can't seem to get him to call me back. You know, when you first were reading this, you're not going to see the full investment unless you do some sort of legal push. If there is some. Okay? So I don't feel like you're going to get the full return on it. It might be half or something, but you're going to have to kind of harass this person, make this person uncomfortable to where they just have to give something just to shut up or something, you know, something of that nature. But, you know, depending on the clauses and legalities of this, there might be something else that helps to intervene to get in return, because you at the same time, Page of Pentacles, like you need someone with some legal advice to help and assist with you on this to get at least half of it back. Because I kept seeing like 20 grand or 20 something, you know, that can be returned. You know what I'm saying? But that means that you have to push with it. But then I feel like somehow there's going to be some other inheritance or some other unexpected money's coming in too. So there's that end of the spectrum that came in, because I'm like, oh, well, I don't see what that. So something else might come in to financial assist or something like that. But if you actually push harder, you might be able to see at least 20 grand back on this, which is better than nothing, you know? So think about that. They're also saying you're being a little too generous and like you're not being harsh enough on them, you know? So you need to really like push with your energy and learn how it is to push. Okay. Because then you'll be taken advantage of. And so I would like every day text, and then have an attorney's letter saying we need a response, correspondence, you know. And I don't know if you signed any clauses or not, but you know, I would assume I'd have a bad feeling that you didn't sign a contract on this one, because an investment that large without a contract is not the best, wisest thing to do. But I feel like if you keep pushing the person out of guilt, they might return some of that. But that's why they're saying with the Page of Pentacles, you need someone professional that knows how to like get someone to like consciously give up, to say, this is all I got, leave me alone, you know. But it doesn't feel like you'll get the full more back on that. But they're also like, you know, the Ten of Pentacles corresponds to that, says that you might somehow reap rewards somewhere else. But that's also a lesson to learn there, James, too. And life can be very harsh and lessons you need to learn, saying, well, you spent the money unwisely, so you got to learn that lesson and not get it back in that format. And so, you know, so just, you can suck that up. If you learn that lesson, then the money cycle begins over again. Then you know, spirit can be like, okay, well, here's more opportunities for money in this way, and trust that, right? And so, yeah, you'll have to kind of, you know, do more for that. But yeah. Okay. Next question is for Kristen V. One, should I write my book about my most recent nanny experience? This is the woman that you called me not being there till the end of summer. I called it, which means that it came true. I just wanted to tell people outside of that. No, I wouldn't waste your time on this book, Kristen, for this, to be honest with you. Not now. Nothing is going to come of it. And what I mean that is because it may be later. Like, I don't want to stop anyone from doing something, but I also feel like it's not going to help you now, or benefit you now. I feel like there's other things that your career need to take more of your focus to where you're not spreading yourself thin. So maybe later on, something to think about. So I wouldn't definitely say no completely. I'm just saying not right now. I wouldn't make that a focus on right now. So wait on that. You know, always keep an idea. There's always an idea that comes to reason. And if it's still bruised after a while, after your work and your business is thriving and so forth, and it's like, I still got to write this book, then do it then. God's saying, it's just not now. And you end up spending a lot of time on it now that wouldn't really manifest the reward on it now. Later, maybe, just not now. Okay, with that. Number 2, what are her feels on me now? We haven't spoken since we parted ways, but I wouldn't sign things I felt uncomfortable. Honestly, I feel like this sounds weird. I feel like she feels like you're probably the one that she couldn't get over on, if that makes sense. You know, yeah, everyone keeps saying you should, but you know, a lot of people say a lot of things that people should not be doing, you know? So like there's a lot of times people say like, oh, get with that relationship. You need that relationship. And the person doesn't need a relationship right now, you know? Oh, go for that job, go do this. And so, that's people just saying, oh, cause it's a unique experience, but we got to think of the bigger picture. Okay, I've already had a unique experience. That's cool, but what is that going to do? Something that's going to help me to evolve at this stage? Now we're saying no. Again, later, possibly. Now I feel more about the intensity of your work, your business, that thriving, it needing your attention. So that's good. But I just like her feelings and news now. Like, yeah, she's the one I couldn't get over her, so she's kind of like, well, good on her. You know what I mean? And so I just feel like it's like the rise of Devil Wears Prada, right? Such a gay reference, right? But I'm showing my gay card finally. I don't usually do, but I am. But I feel like with Devil Wears Prada, you know how kind of Miranda at the end of the movie kind of appreciated whatever the girl's name was. See, I'm not that gay because I'm like, what is the girl's name? The one that, you know, says fuck this Paris thing, and she went out, and so Miranda kind of like appreciated her for that. That's the energy I get with her. Kind of like, she's not like the others. Good for her. You know what I mean? That's the vibe I feel like. But then she's always going to pretend like, oh, but you know, I'm whatever persona she takes on, you know? So yeah, that's what it feels like. And I think control freaks would never want to admit that either. So, okay. Card pull for Lily. And then we will conclude. This will conclude your morning announcements. Four of Wands, new home. Interesting. Why does it keep coming up? Okay, so Lily gets you got the Four of Wands because if she won a card pull, so Four of Wands. This is new home energy. Okay, so, and the Sun card. So perhaps if you haven't already moved, if you haven't already, you'll be moving soon. And the Sun card's saying maybe it's a brighter place than a place that you had before. And if you did move, then they're saying that is the bright decision you should make. Good. Right? So I would feel like this is the new chapter of home life is a positive one. The Sun card could be very, very, I would say, generic, like the sun shining. Oh, you're kind of seeing the light, right? And that's true, but I think in conjunction to the Four of Wands, saying like you're finding a lighter energy with your home life. And so if you did move that, then you'll start feeling that now too. But if you haven't yet, that move is right around the corner. It just feels now energy to where you feel like, I feel lighter in this space. I feel better here, you know? And so that's a good thing to feel, because like, to me, I always see the home life as very important, because that's really defines who we are, and we define who we are through our home life. And it's also a representation of who we are and where we're at, you know? And some of us don't realize how much our home environment does affect us or inspires us. So it's important for us to understand that part too. Many people think it's so many other things that have to change. Like, no, you just got to change your home life. So you need to find better space. So that's what I feel with you on that for Lily. Next we have Karma. I am stressed about the below freezing weather coming for a week straight. My water pipes are susceptible to freezing, and obviously I don't want that. I know I'm creating chaotic energy, but I don't know how to switch it. Do you see me being able to keep the water flowing? Thanks. Kind of. I would prepare with 5-gallon waters. Let's be rational here, right? Everyone's been blowing this out of proportion about this like winter storm stuff. I mean, just like they blew out of proportion, record heat on the East Coast. Now it's record, cold on the West Coast. So it's like, yeah, you'll have some storms. It'll be cold, but like it'll go through. We have these things all the time. So I think it's been exasperated a lot in the media, but they are recommending getting maybe 2 to 3 5-gallon water things too. Because I feel like there might be half issues with it and half not issues with it, but those 5-gallon water things, if you buy, they just to have on deck as a peace of mind too. Okay. And baby wipes, right? So because I feel like you will have some issues and there won't be, and then the times you won't have issues. So there's like a wishy-washy energy with that part too, yeah, so I would prepare for that because I'm saying there might be partial you do and partial you don't. And perhaps maybe it's cold where it's normal cold, and then there's the freezing step, and then maybe that part of it where it's like freezing step there is. So, but yeah, I feel like you'll have to. But I mean, this is something you already know, and it doesn't feel like very lengthy. A lot of people have power outages and issues. And this happens like a lot with people with storms. And so I wouldn't act like this is such a new thing. Now, I'm going to get off topic for a moment, but I think you're good as long as you have like 3 or 4 of those 5-gallon water things that you can buy at like the grocery stores that usually put in those water. I would actually get one of those water things too. Those are so beneficial, by the way, those little water things that disperse waters. But I would actually just, be prepared this way, but it'll be fine. Everything will be good in that regard. But yeah, but I wouldn't be so concerned about the freezing temps and all that stuff. It'd be cold, sure. And, but we supposedly didn't have a cold here. We're supposed to have a colder winter. We didn't. It was shorter. We're back in the 50s here in northern Reno. So, and I just feel like just like the heat was short-lived in the east that they made a big stink over, so will this be. I am more concerned about Southern California. I've been predicting for a long time, okay, that there's going to be a massive earthquake and a nuclear spillage, right? In Southern California, sometimes, and I said this about 2 years ago, and I saw it within 3 to 5 years, right? And so I'm more concerned about that because that's not something that they experience often. And so, and I also made this prediction for my 2026 predictions. I said it could happen this year or sometime next year, but I feel like it's coming soon. And they just had 2 major earthquakes in the Coachella Valley, Southern California. They never had anything that big before. So I'm more concerned about that area, than anywhere else. That seems kind of normal, maybe uncomfortable because there's a storm. But those who are maybe in Southern California will need to be using your discernment. If you feel that you need to move or leave or travel or do something at a certain period of time, do it. It's not fearful. I also felt and I couldn't decide if it was, something on the east side of Japan, the earthquake on the Japan side that ruffles Southern California somehow, and then there's a nuclear spillage. There's a combo for me that I keep sensing. And that's part of the main reason why I left too, because of that. Other reasons too, but that was another reason I said, I gotta go now, and I just feel like I need to. And so, again, those of you in Southern California, be mindful. If you feel you need to go a little more north, if you feel like you need to go, you follow it, okay? Because your intuition can lead you and maneuver things out of here. But I've lived in California for 20 years, not once experienced a major earthquake in the 20 years I lived there. Little ones here and there, but so I know a lot of people saying it's due for one. I don't know all that, due for one, and what it even means. Like it doesn't, so I just kind of more lean on the side of like my vibe says this is a timing on it. You know what I mean? So I would those who live in Southern California, please be discerning about if you feel like I got to move, I got to go here, go north, I got to travel this time, take a trip here, do it, because you're picking up on, the currents there. Okay, I think we have one more carpool and then we're done. For Sydney Aaron. Okay. Let's see here. All right. It got quiet all of a sudden. Didn't it get quiet all? Also, just kind of like I was in my head, but I don't know what I was in my head about. And I was like, I forgot I was. I'm live right now, Scott. What are you doing? You're quiet. You gotta entertain the crowd. I hate sounding so redundant sometimes. But sometimes y'all need repetition, right? So, all right. But Sydney, just showing to you. I'm like, sorry, just falling all over the place. 9 of Pentacles. This is all about a woman who needs to go out in nature. It's the woman who loves the countryside, a woman who's nurtured, and a woman who is in her organic flow, right? Yeah, Iggy, I know Iggy, you were going to catch that. I've always lived to Iggy to catch certain things that many other people don't catch. So there's someone that needs to be in nature, but in their organic self. So maybe you need to go more bohemian this year, Sydney, in your vibe. Go more. You need to be more boho, and maybe connect with more boho type of things. I'm kind of saying it in that essence because I feel like the earthiness of you needs to be expressed and come out to really find the 3 of Pentacles is all about my communal card. It's all about community and people who are like-minded, right? And so I really feel like need to find that airiness again of the self, right? And so I do feel like things will move quickly because, with the eight of Wands here, it's very indicative of quick movement, success and things. And so they're really talking about relationships, and so find a boho, earthy, organic vibe that isn't overthinking, that isn't trying to like lead and pacify people. It's like, I'm Mother Earth. I am one with Mother Earth. See how flowy you know what I mean? So really embrace, it's like that song, Dawning of the Age of Aquarius, where they're all like in those sheets and everything. Be one of those girls, okay? Because I feel like that's a community of people that you will meet. Because again, this community aspect keeps coming up for a lot of people this year. I'm telling you. It's like, exactly. She is already a little boho, but she needs to push it more, Daryl. And it's good to see you, by the way, Daryl. I haven't seen you in a long ass time. Good to see you, Daryl, by the way. I couldn't tell. Your picture, you look so tan in that picture. I couldn't tell it was you or not. But yeah, you're a boho, but like push it more, Sydney. I think you need a little bit of that. Carefree. And I think that you're going to find more of that earth energy. And again, my communal card comes in the picture. So I think you're going to have fun. With that. So, all right. That concludes that concludes this morning announcements. Enjoy this second period, right? So, all right, guys. Well, that's it for the night. I'm going to relax. I'm going to have a little vape. Yes, I love my cannabis. I've loved my cannabis. I do cannabis when I'm trying to be philosophical, when I'm trying to purge karma, and when I want to be creative, or I just want to have fun and laugh. And the strain that I have of cannabis is called Betty White. So, and I'm sure you understand why it's called Betty White, because it's a very giggly weed, and I love doing that after if I'm editing or mixing when I was mixing my song, I was like Betty White all the way, because I'm hearing every little detail. And I have to be so vocal about this because in the world of AI, I still want people to know I still do the music how I've always done it for 20 years. I do it all myself. Every little thing you hear, every little sound, every little EQ, every little vibration, every little compression, I did, every vocal, right? And I feel like I've never boasted about that. I just put my music out, and I feel like AI is forcing us to boast about it now. But at the same time, I want people to know this is all my expression. The rhythm guitar I'm playing, right? The synths I'm playing, every little vocal I'm playing, that's all my expression. It's coming from me, right? The lead guitars, I suck at lead guitars, so I have to program them. I have to play with keyboard and program and do all that stuff to make it sound realistic and stuff. It takes hours to do that because I suck at lead guitar. I want to, because my goal this year is to be better at lead guitar, so I can do more of this. I'm good at rhythm, can do my rhythm and all that stuff, but I always have to program my lead guitars. And those who don't know, I've been a composer for TV and film, so I've done orchestral scores. Sound, again, people think it sounds like a real orchestra, but that's being a good producer and arranger and using the tools that we have to compose. And so I take pride in that. So I'm going to be repetitive about that, especially when I release my song next week. It's already uploaded to the stores. It's just, on pre-order. And I have more songs on finishing albums. I have hundreds of songs, by the way, that I've written and recorded that I haven't released. This will be my 11th single that I'm released, but I have hundreds of songs that I've written and recorded since I was like 19. And I might do a compilation of releasing all those old songs. People can hear the old me when I did disco pop, when I did R&B, when I did soul, when I did gospel, when I did hard, heavy rock. Kind of back to a little bit of my rock vibes now, but so it's a passion of mine. I've been doing it forever. And I think many people who know me as being a psychic don't realize, they're like, when did you start doing this music thing? I'm like, I've been doing that since I was yay big. And people who know me as a musician, like, when did you start doing the psychic thing? I'm like, since I was yay big. So it's funny that I'm trying to merge it. So everyone knows me as the musician and the psychic medium. So, because before I was separating that, I thought that's what I have to do for marketing, right? And so I just at this point, I'm like, who fucking cares about that? So I really want to immerse those two. So I'm excited about that as well. So this way, when you guys hear it, you'll be like, especially the music I have now, listen to my old music and from the Fresh Take, he's actually doing all those little parts. And my parents will testify. They sit in the studio and see me drool. Mom, what do you think about this? Dad, what do you think about this mix? Eric, how does it sound? Let me tweak it, So I love that process, and I don't want anything to take away that process for me. And so I feel like I'm being a little vulnerable with my passion, but that's something I want you guys to know I've been doing for a long time too, and won awards for it actually, for my compositions. So, but Iggy's heard it because he's my aqua bro. He'll tell me. I think I sent him a mix. He's like, dude, when I blast in my car, your vocals aren't loud enough. I'm like, of course not. I always bury my vocals too much, and I want to hear my production, right? So he's helped me to be like, I got to raise my vocals a little louder. My dad always says the same thing, so, so he said it's incredibly upbeat. It's a ride. There is definitely a ride to this song. So I'm happy about that. And I'm thinking about releasing some of my older stuff too. I had a lot of stuff I did have online that I took down because they were hard rock. They were my edgy self. One song's called Scavenger, right? The other one's called Wasteland with LA highlighted in Wasteland. But I'm like, I want to post those anyway because that's where I was. So where's that? And show my journey of people of what I've been through and where my heart was at then, So, anyways, enough about me. It's all about y'all. I appreciate you guys. I will be here next week, so I'm not taking off next week. So I'll be back next week. So trying to think of a topic. Always trying to think of topics every week. But I always see what's fitting without being overly political and redundant about what's going on in politics. So many news channels that you'll find that no need to kind of talk about it here, but I do like to at least give perspective about what's going on. So I'll be here next week because obviously that's the release. So of course it's gonna be here. So I love you all. And again, if you guys understand, scottcruzpm.com, if you want to book a live one-on-one with me, again, the live readings are different than my one-on-ones. We get into depth. I work for my sessions. I show up my sessions and I am all in with my sessions. And I have been, I'll be on my 13th year now doing it. So, we get to, and of course you hire me. So I'm like, I show up and I do my job. So I take pride in my sessions too. But again, life readings, past life regressions, health mediumship, career advice. I've actually helped people develop brands but by channeling spirit. And so that's been amazing to see and witness along the years, helping to bring transformation. And we consort your guides and consort where you're going, relationships, past relationships, all that great stuff. Mediumship, channeling spirit, mediumship sessions as well. Also, I have an intuition builder session as well that you can take part in as well. And so, scottcruzpm.com, and I will see you all next week. I'm trying to think what I should close on because I already ran the damn commercial. I don't have all my songs uploaded here, but I think I'll just close with Culture. I started Culture, we'll close with Culture, lyric video. You guys can chit chat and all that stuff. And I'll see you all next week. Much love. And guys, remember, you're all the gods and goddesses of your own myth. What do you want to create? Much love. Good night, guys.
We're done paying for the sins of the day, because no one can escape the cause. When it all comes to a head, we'll pay the debts, yeah. We gotta sink this ship and let the fire machine.